Hello, and welcome to Moonride. It's Dave Johnson channeling the man in the moon. I do now have another YouTube channel, which is about trance channeling. I really hope you'll take a look. I did some really interesting work with Jesus today, and I'd love for you to take a look. I think it's on this side, but maybe it's on this side. I'll post it right here if you want to look for that channel. Today, I'm going to be looking at Trump, who seems to be failing. I woke up this morning and Trump is like trying to make a basket. He keeps trying to make a basket, and he doesn't seem to succeed. I also keep seeing two smiling Justins in Tennessee. Somebody named them just in time. I think that's just great, isn't it? Anyway, let's take a look at Trump missing the baskets and see what the Justins have to say about what I'm starting to think of is a new, younger movement in a more, let's just call it optimistic direction. All right, let's take a look first of all at the Donald shooting his baskets. Oh, and I'm getting it. This is why, when you shoot a basket in front of, there's a lot of pressure. If you're being watched by a lot of people, um, I'll note I'm really bad at basketball, so I maybe feel this more than the rest. Is that you're there, you're trying to make a basket, and everybody's watching you, and the pressure's so great, and that's the Donald. The pressure is so great. He's now being watched, and it's like he used to be the star, but he is not the star anymore. It looks like maybe he's wet his pants. People are booing and they're laughing and mocking him, and the more they do this, the worse it gets. Now his pants fall down, and you can see the adult diapers. Donald Trump wears an adult diaper, by the way, and he's just humiliating himself, and it's truly a narcissistic punishment. Narcissists thrive on people obeying and being controlled, but here there's no the opposite's occurring. He has no power. Oh, and guess who walks in the room? Stormy Daniels. And she can make her baskets, right? She has no problem. You just think about like the social opinions. Most people don't have a great social opinion of a call girl. Maybe you don't care. I don't care. But, most people don't think of them as being good people. You notice, like, now she's doing the right thing. It's kind of ironic that here's this person kind of at the bottom of our society is actually showing us a moral standard of truth, whereas a former president is making just an absolute fool of himself. The audience is watching Stormy. They love the way that she's doing her business. She seems to like have springs on her shoes so she can make those baskets. Her Air Jordans are functioning. It's quite epic. I want to say it's just such a there's so much emotion here. The people are really cheering her, and I don't know. I think it says something to us that Stormy Daniels is carrying the torch of ethics and morality. Um, whereas Trump is sitting there, he's now on the bench, he's starting to get nervous looks. The people nearby are almost like politicians, and they're his conservative politicians, and they're looking around like, uh-oh, well, if our star isn't doing so well, maybe we need a new star. Who could we find that would be new? It's like he's going to get changed out. They're not going to back him up. They're not going to back him up for president. So I'm just going to ask, will he have to drop out or not be nominated? Okay, so let's just ask directly, will Trump be nominated? It's not clear. I get a question mark, but I also kind of get a feeling like probably not. And the probably not is because there isn't anyone else. You might think, oh, DeSantis will be the guy. There's no one else. It is a disaster for the Republican Party. It's almost like they don't have a nominee. They have a negative, and even if they put Trump up, they have a negative. They don't have a nominee. Obviously, they're going to throw somebody together, but that just might be Trump. That team is just like, oh God, we're going to lose every game of this season. What we have to look forward to is less and less power, but there's no one else. What's going on? Is anybody else? Huh. It's funny, I kind of get a Paul Ryan figure emerging. I wonder if he will be the nominee. And it's not necessarily Paul Ryan, it's somebody young and good looking, dark haired. Hmm. It's like they're trying to put a new face on the party for younger people because they know they're alienating them. But it's too late. I mean, Paul Ryan's not going to come back. Maybe they found someone. And I get the feeling like really slick, but that's not necessarily going to be the nominee. So let's just see. Will they nominate Trump? So I'm looking at an audience, and some hands are going up, but not a lot. I'm just looking. I'm looking at the audience here, basketball audience here. Well, I'm gonna say like 20% of them raise their hands. Maybe 20% are Trump loyalists. But that may be the best they can do. And understand that this is a way of thinking. It's not Trump, it's the Trumpist way of thinking, and nobody encapsulates that except Trump. No one can do and say and behave in the way that he behaves and get away with it. Only Trump can. So the people who are loyal to him are loyal to that idea of the behavior. It's not necessarily the human so much, it's the behavior that they want. And, Paul Ryan isn't going to juice them up, right? So let's see if we can get. I do not think this is clear, but I am going to ask one more time. Is Trump going to be their nominee? So I'm looking at a woman and she's kind of not so sure. She's kind of like, yeah, but no. But she looks kind of embarrassed, downcast eyes, like, I don't know what to do. It may be that he's still the nomination, but there's not very much enthusiasm around it. It's like they know they're choosing a loser, but they don't know what else to do. There's no one else who's emerging. Ron DeSantis, I'm getting DeSantis has already lost. I think that just because he was Trump's opposition, he's already gone. He's already left. And I'd just be like, he's left the building. He's turned around. He's not going anywhere. Right. So, and what else can we know about this sort of shift, this political shift, sticking right now with the right? So, you know how they have that Pepe the Frog, and this was a completely innocent image until the right wing took it up. It's a cartoon character for children, it has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with the problem that we have right now. And that's what people are starting to realize. It's just a meme. It's just a cartoon character. It's like the Geico Gecko. It doesn't tell you anything about the quality of this group of people. It's not a symbol that is motivating people to greater heights. It's just a thing. It's like, a certain era of toy. And the problems before us are more serious. The minute Putin went into Ukraine, people started to realize this is serious business. We are not fooling around here and arguing among ourselves. Europe could fall into the hands of a horribly repressive person, and then they wouldn't buy our products anymore. So this is serious, and people are starting to say, look, inflation is serious. The problems that I have are serious. The ability to send my kids to school safely is a serious thing. This is where they do want answers. And the Republicans have really screwed the pooch on this one. They really have sort of gone in a direction of sort of senseless, media attention, as opposed to propose anything of actual value. You cannot tell me anything that's on the Republican platform because they do not have a platform. And people are fed up. They're tired of watching these arguments and these memes. They're frankly exhausted by it. And basically, they're just ready to move on. It's almost like they're saying anything could be better. Anything, any other way of life would be better. They're sick of the fighting. And that's the other thing is the violence. The United States is just overwhelmed with violence. I realize this now living in a foreign country. There's just constant psychic violence. The fact that there are people living on the streets who are, elderly. It's just a horrible form of abuse and violence. And that's the United States right now. Again, I'm telling you, there are very, very few homeless people in Australia. This is a country which, does fairly well. There are no homeless people, and like virtually none. Like you'll see a tent and then it'll be gone after a couple of weeks, and then a new tent will show up in the park. One tent, right? So people are just getting to the reality. And let's look at the two Justins. Tennessee, congratulations, guys. Well done. And let's not forget the woman who was with, I'm sorry, I did forget her name, but I think we should include her because she was on the right side and doing the right thing. But the Justins just keep showing up, and they're younger and they're so happy and they're so energetic, and like I want to go, hang out with those guys. I bet they're really fun to talk to. It's very interesting that they just seem like sweet guys. They seem like they treat people well. Like I look at the image of the one of the Justins with his wife, and the way that she's looking at him is just like he's a good man. And I feel that that's so important. It is a change. Here you have people that are, supporting Trump, that are, supporting a person they know is saying and doing bad things. They know that. They can argue it and deny it, but the truth of the matter is they know it. And then next to that, we have these guys who are not saying terrible things, not saying horrible racist things, but who are just stand-up guys. And the Republicans have put them in the spotlight, not Trump. They put them in the spotlight. These guys, they can play basketball, okay? They can shoot from like 2 forms away and hit the ball. They're just on it. The crowd is entertained by them. And I mean, just think about it. Who would you rather like to watch play a sport? Donald Trump or, a young and energetic and optimistic person? Who would you rather see every day on TV? Who brings you down and who puts you up? It's really awesome. It's really nice. It has a feeling of just like, community, and it feels very golden. And they're very much entertaining the crowd in the same way that Trump is entertainment. I mean, we have to be honest here. Trump is absolutely entertainment. Whether you hate him or you love him, you cannot take your eyes off of him. But these two are much more compelling. They're just much more, they feel better. You don't have to explain them. They're just doing the job. And this really is the shift that we have been waiting for. We've been hoping that younger people will show up and start voting. If young people voted, there would never be a Republican again. So we're seeing this shift finally, and maybe it's just a question of time. But in several elections, we're seeing the shift. Young people are not accepting the rules and the dogma that they have been presented. They are not so materialistic either. They are really have a bit of more profound soul experience. I mean, if you can imagine, they've been raised in classrooms where they have to learn to stop, a gunman. Now, that's a very real experience for a young person, and it's appalling that they would have to learn to do that. So we can see these young people just questioning and starting to come up with their own ideas, and they're talking to each other, and mm, I'm just seeing a young woman and it looks like she's entering college and she's thinking, what can I do that's not just beneficial to me, but to everyone? What can I do that has meaning? And, pure money doesn't have, we know we need that, but it's not fulfilling our hearts and souls. These young people are looking for more. They're looking for meaning. They are more curious and more in pursuit of some value. It's not just the number of jobs or the good jobs. I'm not going to say that of 20 years ago. I think there has been a shift. It's interesting too. We might even think of this as a positive and a negative. So this is a positive shift. A lot of the sort of shifting of the energy of the earth until now has just been negative and dark and horrible and heavy and stuff like that. Well, there is a moment that is upon us right now where that is shifting. It's just changed so that the real action and the real love, I'm going to call it, is starting to take control. Yeah, I see somebody being presented with like a cup. It's like a loving cup sometimes they say. I don't know what that means, but it's like an award, and that's being given to these people, and it's like they're getting rewarded not for being the fastest runner or the highest earner. They're getting a reward that has a personal value to them. The energy has shifted. And I'm going to say, I hope all of you will relish the shift that is upon us. It's not over. We're going to have to do more work, and there will be bad news, but something has changed. Thanks so much for watching.